pass to you in Oxford last year. Do you think about that much, or is that way in your rearview mirror?
Yeah, it's something that I kind of, grown up to forget about. But at first it was something that I had a hard time letting go. But now I don't really worry about it much. I'm a much improved player since that play, so it's nothing that really affects me anymore.
So that was like a turning point for you, that play?
Yeah, no doubt, man. That play was probably one of the biggest plays that ever happened to me in my career. A big, very important play for me in a good way. It allowed me to become a better player of the game, and just to learn how to shake things off and move on to the next play.
We've seen you do some lead blocking with like motion to the backfield, and is that something you've been working on all season? How comfortable do you feel doing that?
I'm pretty comfortable doing it. It's something that like you said, it takes practice, and it's something that we practice all fall camp. And now that the season comes around, we're using it, and it just took hard work and practice, and now we're using it to our advantage.
Just considering that play, does this game have any added meaning to you, just as a means to redemption or anything like that? Just considering how the game ended last year.
It ended for us badly, of course, but it's not really about revenge or anything like that. But we're going out there with a chip on our shoulder. We know they beat us last year. We're not going to forget about that. But it just comes down to what we're going to do, how we execute the plays, and we'll get the W.
So just you individually, there's no added meaning for this game?
Yeah, it's a little edge on my shoulder because of that what happened last year. But I can't let that take play of how I'm going to play this year because that was last year. So I had to move on from it. But I still remember what happened.
Do you think it means a lot to Kenyon Drake after what happened last year?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. That was, he had that devastating injury against Ole Miss, so I'm pretty sure he's going to have a chip on his shoulder also. I mean, our whole team will of course, but, especially for him, though, because that was a tough moment for him.
He said, the first game back against Wisconsin, he had put a lot of pressure on himself to make a big play and stuff. Do you expect him to kind of come into the game with that same kind of mindset, or is he going to come in loose and ready, or what do you expect?
Yeah, I think he's going to be ready. Kenyon's an experienced player. He's been around, played a lot of football here, so he's more of a veteran guy. I think he'll be ready to play this game.
What do you see from their defense on film?
Their defense, man, their D-line sticks out the most to me. Have a lot of big guys up front. They move to the ball, play fast, don't give up on plays. And we had to do a great job of blocking them, finishing the plays, and wearing them down by the fourth quarter.
You have one of the longer plays from scrimmages this year on offense. What does this team need to do to really develop maybe a more vertical passing game?
We just have to, mix it up. We had to keep, the running game involved with Derek, and we will for sure. But, once we can be able to run the ball and effectively, the passing game will open up. And I think that's a big advantage for us, and that'll open up the vertical game for us also.
As Darius, it seems like he's had a couple opportunities that just either fall through his fingers or whatever. What is his reaction right now to trying to open things up?
I really haven't, asked him anything about it. He haven't told me anything about it. But I'm sure he's just going to keep playing hard. That's part of the game. You can't make every play, but just get the next one.
What's your routine on a game day like this? It doesn't start till after 8 o'clock.
Our coaches do a great job of scheduling our meetings and stuff like that for us. So, basically just rest up and, don't try to waste too much energy because it's a late start. And that's about it.
I know we talked to Dalvin. He said he's usually pretty anxious and can't really sit still. How are you?
I'm the same way, so that's why it's hard for me to sit still. But I have to, because I have to say that energy because I know it's going to be a long game. I want to get out there and play, but I just have to lay down and rest up and save some of the energy.
Do you distance yourself from the game? I think Dalvin mentioned he watches cartoons, and I know Ashawn plays with his niece. Is there something you do to kind of separate yourself?
Yeah, I just, basically I just go down and chat with my family. That takes my mind away from football, just sitting down with my parents before the game and my family members that come to the game. And it takes you away from it a little moment.
Is that something you do every game?
Every game, yeah, and it lets me clear my mind from football and lets me know my meaning of why I want to play the game.
What are some of the keys facing their defensive line? So Nick talked about just things they bring to the table, pass rushing. What do you guys have to do to slow that down and at the same time create holes in the running game? We have to finish our blocks. And most important is our technique up front. We have to get our hands inside and drive them. And we have to keep pounding them every play. We have to wear them down because there's some big guys and they're strong, but we got to make them tired. And by the fourth quarter, we gotta let them know that that we're fresh and kind of wearing them down a little bit. Is your defensive line doing anything different than what they were doing last year? I know a lot of the key players are same guys. But...
Yeah, I think they're really doing the same thing up front, but they have different guys. Some guys moved on, but nothing really changed with their scheme. I think they're doing the same defense they did last year against us, so we're kind of prepared for that.
last year in mind, is like at practice the tone any different than normal?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The intensity is very high at practice. Like I said, we haven't forgot that they beat us last year, so we're not going to put that to a side. But you know, the intensity is very high, and we're really excited to get out there and play.
Are you focusing on anything specific for Ole Miss?
No, not really anything specifically, but you know, we're just going to do what we're being coached to do this week. You know, up front and you know, in the passing game. So, and everything else will take care of itself.
Do you guys feel like you have anything more to prove, just considering that you guys struggled some last week against Middle Tennessee? Do you feel like, I don't know how much you're on social media, but do you feel like there's any skepticism or increased doubts just based on how last week went?
Yeah, you know, we struggled a little bit at first last week. You know, so I mean, we know that this week we're going to play a better team, of course, the SEC team. So we have to get those little things fixed up, and we will. So, and I think we just do what we're being coached to do, and everything else will be fine.
After such a late game like this, do you crash right away, or are you kind of so wired up after you still want to go after the game?
Yeah, it all depends on afterwards. You know, you're probably going to be banged up a little bit, you know, but after the game, probably 3 hours before you can get to go home. So, you know, it's always normal, 3 hours before you get to go home, and then once I get home, I usually fall asleep. So that'll be the routine for me at home.
Anything else?
Appreciate it. Thanks.